Don't change the channel. It really is a new show. We both look the same because we shot 2 shows on the same day with different segments. So stay with us because we've got some more fun coming. This is the new Eye on Paulsboro show, but we're still at the Sportsman's Club on the patio. The bar's not too far away, by the way, but we haven't been there yet. Irma, this is a spectacular view. It is a quiet place. It's just, the river is magic.
It is magic, John. Of course, I live on the creek. I mean, it's a creek, a tributary 2 miles in from the river, but there's nothing like the water and the river. Paulsboro they'll never take this away from us. No, it's just very calm today, and temperature has moderated. By the time you see the show, God knows what the weather will be because it keeps changing. But stay with us. We've got an interesting program because we're gearing up for the 4th of July parade. Irma may reveal her costume, but then again, she may not. So we'll have details about that, plus a couple segments. The Chief of Police is going to join us. Paulsboro Refinery is also in its centennial year, so we're going to visit with Christy, the spokeswoman, who's going to talk to us about some of the events that have been taking place. A lot of fun, really marking the occasion in a significant way. Mark Camp's going to join us to talk about the parade. I mentioned the Chief of Police. We're going to try and talk to the mayor on the show as well because had a beautiful dedication to the library. So we've got lots of stuff to come. Stay with us. It really is a new show.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like True Test paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome back. I'm sorry, my phone was ringing in the background because it just rings. With me now is the Chief of Police, Paulsboro Police Department, Vern Marino, his organization doing an outstanding job. We're taping the show, by the way, on June 14th. So the day opened up with a crazy shooting in Alexandria, Virginia, just to give you an idea how wacky the world can be. So when we think of people in uniform, and sometimes people like to direct criticism to them, but had it not been for the Capitol Police, that would have been even a more difficult day. Vern, these are interesting times.
Absolutely. Thank God that the Capitol Police were there and they saved a lot of lives. It could have been much worse.
It could have been. I know you guys have been active. Recently came up. We had families deciding to argue with one another with our police department in the middle of it. And frankly, I thought the police department handled it very well and then became very proactive back into the neighborhoods. Vern, I think all your training came to the forefront there. Well done, especially on your part as leading the department. I thought your words were correct.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But all the credit goes to the officers. I think they handled it with the utmost professionalism, restraint. There was a lot of individuals on the street that day. And I've said it 1,000 times. Do I think they were all there to do harm? Absolutely not. There was a lot of bystanders. But it could have been much worse. I think the officers were very appropriate in their response. The officers didn't get hurt. None of our residents got hurt. But those that needed to be charged were charged. And again, I give a lot of credit to the officers for their professionalism.
Well, it speaks volumes as to how this department has evolved over the years. And body cameras, which you were the first department in Gloucester County to have them, did they play a role?
Absolutely. We were able to go back, although one was taken from the officer and we later recovered that day. But we were able to go back, review the body footage, and we actually had one of the officers were hit and didn't even know he was hit in the melee, and we were able to go back and charge individuals for that assault.
Now, is that equipment that durable? So the body camera is taken from the police officer, thrown to the ground, and it still could provide information?
Absolutely. They're very rugged. They're designed to, I believe the way they drop them is like 6 to 8 feet. Obviously, if you threw it to the ground, it would shatter, but they're made to get dropped on the ground. They're even made to be submerged for a short period of time in water and still operate.
Yeah, it's amazing technology. Vern, we always like to have you on from time to time. Any general updates? That obviously made headlines. But again, you drew, I thought, a lot of positive reviews and response from the region.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we've seen videos. Some people like to put videos of the incident on YouTube and other outlets. And what I had said was, I get it. It's their right to film, but it doesn't always show the town in a good light. And it takes away from what we do, all the positives in this town. And again, there are a lot of good people, except for a very few. And, in the town sometimes gets, a negative review, and it's not fair. And that's what I was just trying to get across, except for a very few amount of people in this town, we have a good amount of residents. They're, hardworking, some retired, and, they deserve, a much better quality of life, and that's what we're here for.
Well, and again, it's just a strong effort. Now, you had the summertime. Is there a change in technique in how you handle summer months? You've got longer daylight. You've got hotter temperatures.
Absolutely. As I said in our last show, we were able to bring back an officer that had recently went to West Effort, which was a plus for us. He is a hometown boy. Went to high school here, so he knows our residents. He really wanted to come back, which was a plus. And we're going to change the way we have our shifts are working. We're going to add some shifts at nighttime to help with patrol officers. There's a couple other things we'll be doing with foot patrol and bike patrol, which is always a significant help for us during the summer months. Last week, unfortunately, we had a run on overdoses, and unfortunately, a 19-year-old young man lost his life to it. And that's a concern to us, and our detectives have been working diligently to track down the source of where this heroin's coming from. But the other 4 were very fortunate. We were able to get to them in time and use Narcan and bring them back. So that was fortunate for them. But it's a serious issue, and we're doing everything we can do to combat that.
It's hard stuff. In fact, the 19-year-old that the chief mentioned happened to pass away right next to my house on Spruce Street. 19-year-old. Think about that. There's going to be a special place in hell for these people that have brought this product into this country, because it's just devastating. And again, the response on that was good. The medical examiners were out. I watched how the police interacted with the other residents of the house. I thought the tone was right. It's not easy stuff.
No, it never is. Not when you have a young person lose his life like that. Unnecessary. But again, our detectives have been working diligently to try to track down the source and bring those that are responsible to justice.
It's the role of the police department. We're visited with Chief Irma Marino. We're here at the Paulsboro Sportsman's Club. Beautiful breeze on an afternoon. You can see the city of Philadelphia in the background, a little bit hazy, but I can tell you it's there. Stay with us. We're going to come right back.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have, or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
And welcome back. By now, all of you have seen a lot of footage and a lot of details about Paulsboro High School celebrating its centennial year, 100 years, having opened the main building in 1916. There's also a very important celebration taking place. It's 100 years of the refinery, starting, of course, going back to its days long before being mobile. I remember it as Saccone, then I guess it was the vacuum, then Saccone Vacuum, then Mobile, then Valero, and now Paulsboro Refinery. With me now is Christy Moore. Christy, is that right? Did I get the last name right?
It is, Christy Moore.
Now, how often does that happen on this show? Christy is the spokesperson for the refinery. She has taken the place of Mark Wilgus, who many of you know. She's jumped into the position. She's not a stranger to the area because she worked with the Gap Crap Group. Mm-hmm. So the transition was a very easy one for her. And Steve couldn't be with us today, the plant manager, because he's busy managing the plant. But a couple of nice events have already taken place, which really had a personal touch that reminds everybody that although it's from a distance, it seems like tanks and towers, but it's people who run this place, and their generation's been there. So, Chrissy, I've set it all up because you had a wonderful luncheon for retirees.
We did. We actually started our centennial year back in January, February, when we had our flag raising ceremony. And then in May, we welcomed 200 retirees and special guests to join us to honor them for the time that they spent at the refinery. We had folks, one gentleman was 92 years old who was there. So it was really nice for him to come back to, as one person said, a day back to work.
Yeah, and and it was comfortable. I was very honored that the group had invited me to be there because my grandfather worked there, my uncles, my father. My father wasn't well enough to make it, but it was a friendly afternoon.
It was interesting. I think Steve put it best. Steve Kernsky, our refinery manager, he said, people can't wait to retire, but yet they stood in line for 30 minutes to get back in the door to be honored. So it was really nice for them to join us.
And the stories were good. There are just lots of stories. Some of them we could probably tell on the air, but a lot of them we really couldn't tell on the air with respect to how things operated. But very significant moment. Now, you've had another, and by the way, there was that beautiful luncheon finished, then there was an invitation back to Nino's. That had a whole different spirit to it. But that was a very good spirit.
Yeah, I think what it demonstrated was the camaraderie that the folks in the refinery have with one another. They spend 12, 14 hours a day with one another, oftentimes more time there than they spend with their families. And the time that they spend is important. And they do good work. And I think it was nice to have everyone get back together and to reminisce about the time that they had.
And the open bar was a nice touch.
Well, indeed it was.
It sort of touched off the afternoon. Now most recently, and I couldn't make it, I don't know if the mayor made it or not. He's going to be on a show shortly. He'll tell us when they not only buried a time capsule, but when you see the pictures of this thing, this looks like this could have been launched to Mars probably and survived with sensitive equipment in it. Chrissy, tell us about that because that's pretty interesting stuff.
About 3 months ago, our maintenance department manager said, hey, what do you think about dedicating a time capsule for the centennial? And we thought it was a great idea as a committee. And we asked folks who work in the refinery to donate items. One gentleman donated his grandfather's safety glasses, which look a whole lot like aviator glasses, which is a lot different than what we have currently. We have old magazines. We had memorabilia, things that were personal mementos and things that were from the different companies that preceded Paulsboro Refining Company. That time capsule was made of 313 gauge steel, and it was several hundred pounds empty. We raised it on a crane and we lowered it into the ground. The maintenance department did a phenomenal job at fabricating that. We purged it with nitrogen, so when we pull it back out in 25 years, when our refinery is 125 years old, the items inside will look just the same as they are today. Interestingly enough, we did add a few things like a cell phone, things that, a thumb drive, things that may not be around or we may not have the capability to use in 25 years.
That's just very cool. I was just impressed with the vessel that they built. You talk about craftsmanship. That could survive a whole lot of things. Christy, you have more coming. The celebration continues through the year, but we appreciate the refinery very much and the contribution that they make.
We're really excited about our September 9th event. A lot of people know that is Paulsboro Day, and the refinery is really happy to support that. We're having a huge community celebration on Paulsboro Day. We're inviting Greenwich Township, Paulsboro, our employees. It's just a way for us to celebrate with the community in which we operate. We really value that community and want to make sure that they're part of our year-long celebration.
Wonderful. Very well done all the way around. Say hello to Steve for me as well. He tells me business is pretty good. Always a good sign because gasoline's actually very reasonable. So they're making money and gasoline is reasonable. That's a good combination. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like True Test paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome back. We continue from really whether it's the front yard of the Sportsman Club, overlooking the Delaware, overlooking the airport. It's just $1 million view. With me now is the mayor of Paulsboro. Always enjoy having him on for updates. He's also been a longtime member of this club. His grandfather's a club. His father's a member of the club. So there's a lot of Stevenson history here. But Gary, first of all, thanks for coming on, because you jump in and you can fill a couple
one of my
topics.
Other hats I wear.
Yes, yeah. Well, we drug you from inside the bar, which you're attending bar. So, but your schedule allowed you to make an event at the library. I couldn't make it. Dedication to Virginia Scott. Scotty was there. The daughter was there. Got beautiful footage. Judy McKenzie shot some footage. Tell us about it, because it seemed very fitting.
John, what a wonderful way to honor the legacy for a great woman, Virginia Scott. And, you know, that cliche sometimes used way too much for too many people, but in this case, it was right on. I mean, the library put this together. We had a nice turnout there, and for a lady who has given so much to this town, given so much to the community, given so much to the education as well as the state, nothing was more fitting than to have that collage up there of her electoral college swearing in and all the invitations from President Obama and the swearing in ceremony, and she wanted the library to have that, and we were honored to put that in the library. I saw the footage. It's simply beautiful, and that library is flourishing. So if you haven't been there, this is just another reason to stop in there, because for those who knew Virginia Scott, everyone knew how special she was, and how, frankly, Scotty absolutely overachieved in the wonderful years that those two were together, and they were just a strong couple. But very, very fitting. So at the Gill Memorial Library, you see this history the mayor just spoke about, and of course she has a building named for her over at Rowan College of Gloucester County. Oh, we struggle with the name a little bit. Scott Hall. Gary, you're also making progress on a couple of fronts. Maybe you'd like to touch on. Yeah, we're working on the plaza. I met with the Save a Lot folks, corporate, and they're looking for a July 12th opening, so we're keeping our fingers crossed. We've also had a meeting yesterday where we okayed to tear down some more buildings, a couple on Delaware Street, some throughout town, and we're working on getting a $100,000 grant that's going to tear a lot more eyesores down, and then we can provide housing. We'll put houses on there for people to live in, and it's all part of the administration's housing initiative, and that goes hand in hand. All these stuff's working together to make Paulsboro a better place. So we got a lot of things going. Thompson Avenues, as soon as USDA releases their money, a $7 million project, finally from the beginning of Thompson all the way down to the creek. Finally, it's called Crater Road. That's what the residents call it, and they're right. We're making those steps to correct things that we see that need to be corrected, and we're building on that, and Paulsboro's going to be a better place very soon. It's real progress on all fronts, and for people who are frustrated, sometimes it takes long. It's just complicated. This plaza thing's been in the works for probably 8 years, but Gary's been very persistent in getting these people in the room and getting these commitments, so we keep our fingers crossed that comes, and it's one step at a time. Very positive steps. Stay with us. We're coming right back. We're at the Sportsman's Club here on the Delaware River.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
And welcome back. With me now is Kevin Castanola. He's the Executive Director of the South Jersey Port Corporation. You've seen him on the program. He is an important person when it comes to the Delaware River. He followed Joe Balzano, who he studied under, and his father as well, for that matter. Kevin's been instrumental in helping shape the relationship of the whole corporation who's operating Paulsboro and how all this fits. So, Kevin, the port's operating. What's the general economy of the river at the moment? Because Holt seems to be busy. Although he has a single customer, it looks like traffic at the port's pretty good.
Yeah, things have been going very well here at the port. The business actually exceeded what we thought was going to be from the beginning. In the first 3 months, we've done over 500,000 ton of cargo, which is phenomenal for one berth facility. Ship days are probably utilization is 60-70% of the berth, which is unheard of. So things are going well overall in the river. At the other port facilities we have, we're busy, so the economy is looking pretty good. And I think that's going to continue for the remainder of the year. So, I think we have a promising future.
Well, and we're all optimistic, and of course an effort is being made to secure the balance of the funds needed to finish out the building of the wharf, which will be tripling the size of what's presently there. That allows for more commerce and really a build out of the site.
Yeah, that's going to be important because of the utilization we have now. It's hard to market for additional business. So as we get that additional funding and can show that we're going to continue to build out, I think the opportunities will continue to come, as we showed with this piece of business with the Holt family. We're going to grow it, and the idea is to keep creating a lot of jobs here.
Wonderful, Kevin. Thank you. And by the way, Kevin is hands-on, as are the Holt people, because as the mayor works to get the relationship right, there are growing pains. Trains are coming. It's to serve some people. Things have to get worked out. But people are paying attention to those details, and Kevin is an important voice in that, and we're very grateful for that. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Paulsboro people are everywhere, and here we are at the Gloucester County Institute of Technology's Classic Car Show. It's our third annual, so we got a chance to roam around the field, and lo and behold, run into Leon Manchester, of course, longtime Paulsboro person, chaired the planning board for many years, and Leon is an adventurous person. And Leon, this vehicle behind us, which is yours, this thing just jumps out.
Thank you, John. I wanted to make something nobody else had. And it originally started in Al's Bump and Grind in Paulsboro. And me and Al and Paul Keller and Dennis Fox tore it apart and built it like you see it today.
It's just beautiful. Now, the power plant, it looks just like a machine that will go anywhere.
Oh, it's a 409 Chevy, 525 horse, and it'll literally stand on its back wheels. So.
I don't doubt that for a second. The suspension, sitting high as it is, looks like there's nothing that it couldn't handle.
Oh, it's a handful, but it's the only one like it, and that's what I wanted. So,
well, I would ask you what year it is, but considering you built it so custom, do you put a year on something like this?
It's basically original. It's 1989. It's an old Sahara 89 I bought off a 86-year-old woman, and when I bought it, there was 86 cigarette butts in it. So. Now you won't find a piece of lint on it, and that's the way I try and keep it.
No, it's Leon. It's just spectacular. Is that motor original to it?
No, not at all. That's all custom. No, that's all custom. Just about everything in it's custom now, but it is an original Jeep. It's steel, no plastic.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Brake pedal's interesting.
Yeah, I made that myself. A lot of the pieces I made. So.
It doesn't surprise me.
The craft still comes in handy once in a while.
I'm telling you, it is spectacular, just spectacular.
Thank you.
And does it draw attention? We're visiting with Leon Manchester in this very special Jeep vehicle. With me is Vince Pavone. Vince, I remember not this particular car. My buddy Alex DeMarco had one. Tell me about this car.
It's a 1964 Chevy Bel Air. And it's pretty much all original. Original 6-cylinder, 3 on the tree. It's bone stock.
Now, Vince, look, I wait the camera.
Oh, yeah.
You want everyone to see you.
I want them to see the car. I'd rather them see the car.
No, I think you look just as good. Remind people what a 3 on a tree is. We have a lot of people watching this have no idea.
Yeah, the old, stick shift on the column. It's not on the floor, it's up here, so you got to shift.
Where'd you find this machine?
Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. There's a guy, they call him Smitty. He sells all kinds of old cars like this.
Are you going to keep it in its original condition? You're going to restore it?
Yeah, without a doubt, keep it just like this.
And how's it drive?
Great, amazing. Better than all the new cars. I can't believe it.
I see that? Better than all new cars. Air conditioning?
No, you're right here. This is the air conditioning.
Satellite radio?
No, no way. Listen to the engine.
No air conditioning, no satellite radio. Cassette player?
Nope.
Just the car. What year again?
1964.
1964 Chevrolet. You know, something special about a love of a man and his machine, and a female in the machine as well. Interesting vehicle. Got to bring back a lot of memories for people. A lot of these were on the road. Stay with us. We're going to come right back.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
And welcome back. We begin Community Notes actually talking about a friend who has moved on because in his line of work, you move on. And Pastor Kevin of St. Paul's United Methodist Church at Broad and Delaware Street, who was a frequent guest on the show, especially around the holidays. He was a chaplain for the fire department. Irma, he wrapped up a beautiful career and the congregation sent him off in fashion.
Yes, we did, John. I was on the committee. We got together, and he was always the fisher of men in our congregation. He went out there and pulled people in, and we can never, ever, ever say enough to thank you to Pastor Kevin. He's going to Old Bridge, but as I told him Sunday, his last service, you can take the person out of Paulsboro, but never the Paulsboro out of the person, and he agreed. Two of his sons have now have graduated from Paulsboro and doing well, and we're sure going to miss him, though.
He made a real contribution. And when I mentioned the congregation sending him off in fashion, Irma, of course, was able to attend the final sermon. And Irma, believe it or not, is very comfortable in church. But the congregation threw a beautiful party at Paulsboro Firehouse, where he was a member, where he was a chaplain for the fire department. Capacity crowd, large crowd, and nice program.
It was wonderful. Clonmel Methodists came up and they sang some hymns for him, his favorite hymns. And, of course, we always eat with Pastor Kevin. He's already scoped out all the eating places in Old Bridge, but his heart will always be here, John, and he came at a time that Paulsboro needed him.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And actually, he stayed a good piece of time, but the bishop told him to move on. We don't have a formal community notes on this show because of the way the program fell together. So, Irma, I think it's going to do it. Fred's behind the camera. Bill Crane couldn't make it.
Well, Bill's up there watching us. I know, John. And once in a while, remember, he used to slam down his board and holler at us. But anyway, John, can't wait for the 4th of July parade. Love it here on the river, and see you on Broad Street.
And we expect an outstanding costume, Irma, with all important garments attached. That's going to do it. As I mentioned, forgot to mention Amy Cook as well. So for all of you there, we'll see you on Broad Street for the 4th of July parade. Until next time.